Hoping everyone's having a beautiful morning. Today we're going to do a chakra balancing yoga practice. And it's going to focus on going through the different chakras in a sequence. So many lineages of yoga follow the chakra system when they do their yoga practice. So the chakras there's 7 chakras within our body, and they are a vortex of energy. Okay? And then they also branch out. You have nadis, about 72,000 approximately, that branch out. These energy channels branches out throughout your body. And different chakras are aligned with different aspects. Like, for example, your throat chakra is aligned with more trust and communication, right? While maybe your root chakra is more with security and grounding and connection with nature and stability. Like a beautiful tree. So this practice is going to focus on starting from the root, going up to the crown. Now, some of these poses might be a little bit intermediate, but I invite you to challenge yourself. And if at any point some of these poses are not comfortable, I will provide you with modifications. Just wanted to share with you today this beautiful practice. And before we get started, an example of two yogic traditions that follow the chakras in different ways. Shivananda Yoga, their practice, their sequencing starts from the crown and goes all the way down to the root. Because a lot of times they start with headstand, shoulder stand after their warm up. So they go from the crown, they go all the way down. While Ashtanga Vinyasa, we start with the root, starting with standing sequence, seated sequence, and then we go into closing where we get really deeper into going up into the higher levels of the chakras. All right, so let's get started. Go ahead and grab yourself a block or a cushion. Take it, put it underneath your seat. This helps with aligning your spine and eases your back. Start to close your eyes and start to breathe. Keeping your eyes gently closed. And start to feel your breath as it is. Elongate your spine. Relax your shoulders away from your ears. And just feel your breath for this moment. Giving yourself this time to just be. Put your hands into heart center. Inhale for 1 Om. Inhale. Om. Let's get started. So let's get into a tabletop position. Palms are parallel to each other. Knees are to hip alignment. Palm to shoulder alignment. We're going to warm up our spine with some cat and cow. So inhale into cow. Chin up, drop your belly. Exhale, round through your spine. Really push the floor away from you. Inhale. Exhale. Inhaling. Exhale. Now do a couple of rounds of your own. Slowly warming up the spine. A healthy spine is a direct link with longevity. One more round. And whenever you're ready, sit back into a child's pose, dropping your head onto the ground and feeling your breath. If your shoulders are a little bit tight and you feel a little bit uncomfortable in this pose, you can always take your hands behind. But as you lay here, start to go inwards. What is your intention for your practice today? That intention, you could either keep it for yourself or you can share that intention, this practice of yoga, to someone who needs it most. And slowly come up with control. Our next pose is going to be Malasana. So that's a yogi squat. Just slowly bring your legs out to the side and come into a squatting position. You can take a block if this is uncomfortable for you, and you can put it underneath your seat. And if your heels don't touch, it's okay. Your goal is just to imagine your heels going down. And with practice, you'll be able to do that. Okay? And if you feel you don't need the block, you can remove it. And just go ahead and bringing your elbows on the inside of your thighs and really open your hips. And just imagine as your eyes are closed, releasing the upper and lower jaw, starting to relax your eyes, and just feel as if there are roots are grounding through your feet. And you're just connecting with the earth. Sometimes we forget about the earth and how important nature is. And this moment, having gratitude for nature that gives us breath, gives us oxygen, the plants, that allows us to have sun for warmth. And you can feel, just as you sit here in this pose, feel maybe coolness or warmth underneath you. And start to think about security, security within yourself, and stability. Just let it be without judgment, not judging the body, just accepting the body as it is. And then slowly release. That can be difficult. And then sit back. And we could do some windshield wipers, either wide or narrow. And you're bringing your knees out to the side. Our next pose is Baddha Konasana, butterfly pose. It's a really big hip opener. It's going to work on the sacral chakra. So Our sacral chakra is very linked to reproduction, um, security within ourselves. And a lot of women, even men, can hold on to trauma, emotions within our hips. And so I invite you to just open, just melt into the pose and just let it be. If at any moment things come up, things do come up, just go back to your breath. And if you need to lay down and rest in Shavasana for the rest of this class, that's okay. That's your practice. Let's get started. So bring both your feet out, touching, knees out to the side. And what I do is I take 1 foot distance from my seat, and that's where my feet will go. I take my toes. You can't see my toes today because it's cold where I live. And so I'm using socks, but usually I don't practice with socks because you can slip. But my practice today, as you will see, it's not going to require us to do a lot of standing, so it's safe. So grab your toes and just open it up like it's a book, like you're reading a book or a magazine. And just start to bounce your knees up and down. And it's starting to open up the hip flexors, okay? Those are sometimes tight. So we're just gonna warm it up for just a moment. And still elongating your spine, bringing your chest forward. And just close your eyes. Just feeling in this moment that you're a butterfly, you're traveling the world, free, nothing holding you back. You're just being yourself without judgment, just love. And now we're going to hold this butterfly with stillness. So bringing your elbows in towards the sides of your body. Inhale, lengthen through the spine. And exhale, come forward. Your goal is to bring your chin towards your toes. That's just a vision, but it doesn't have to happen today. And focusing on your breath again. Ujjayi breath, breath with sound. Slow and subtle. And start to notice the sensations in your hips, inner thigh, lengthening. One more breath. And release. Same pose, we're in B position, but this time we're going to round through the spine. And envision your head touching your toes. It doesn't happen today, but that's the vision. So inhale, lengthen your spine nice and straight. And exhale, round through your spine. Now, if this is uncomfortable, you can always put a block to support your head. And just breathe here. And as you sit here, starting to let go of all those things that we've held on to in this moment, focusing on this present time together and releasing the past. There's nothing we can do to change the past. We always hold on to them. I know I do. But there's nothing you can do about the past. But in this moment of transformation, we can work on the now and slowly build onto the future. One more breath. And release. Going it back, bring your knees together and going side to side. Windshield wipers. Also massaging the sides of your hips. This also helps your spine as well, mobility of your spine. There's muscles that branch all the way deep into your hips that go into your spine to psoas. So we're just lengthening, stretching, opening. We're going to move on to the solar plexus. So the solar plexus is linked with your inner fire, confidence. Also, it can be linked with your ego. If it is underactive, you can be insecure. I mean, it can happen even from day to day. One moment you feel very confident, strong within yourself. And sometimes we have moments where we just don't have that fire. And so we're working on right here above your umbilicus, and which is your belly button. And that inner fire we're going to work on. So strength. And just a reminder of that balance of course, being yourself and being in the world, but at the same time, having respect for others and respect for yourself and loving yourself with love and care. So we're going to do boat pose nirvasana. So you're going to go ahead and sit, bring both your knees touching, feet are touching as well. And we're going to elongate our arms. So either we could stay right here on top of your toes, or another option is to lift here or straight legs. But try not to lean back. You try to engage through your core. Bring your chest up. So if you can't, listen to the ego. The ego may want you to push and put you in a situation that's uncomfortable. There's that other voice that just tells you just to go where you need to and be okay with that. Practice is always changing. So just be gentle with yourself. So go ahead and start. I'm going to do 3 rounds of this. Bring your palms to the sides, parallel. Lift your chest and lift where you can. 1, 2, bring your knees together. 3, 4, and 5. Release. And take it across your feet. Hands by your hips. And just lift. Low asana. And go back. 1, 2, engage through your core. 3, squeeze. 4, 5, cross. And lift. One more time. If you want, you can bring your toes down. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Cross and lift. And you might start feeling some warmth. That's normal. And let's go ahead back into a tabletop position. And what we're going to do is step our feet back into a plank position. So not having your butt up here, your sit bones, keeping in the same alignment. Okay? And just holding it here. 1, 2, squeeze your core. 3, you can always drop onto your knees if you need to. 4, and 5. Drop your chest down. And you can do, we're going to do cobra. And inhale, lift. 1. So your hands are by your chest to the side. Elbows are tucked in. Feet are like a snake. Looking forward. And then inhale. Exhale, lift. 1, 2, 3, 4, and release. And go ahead and sit back into a child's pose. Extending your hands, dropping your head. And slowly come back up into a seated position. So now we're going to do some twists to help with that plexus here. And either if it is uncomfortable for you to twist, you can always sit up in a cross-legged position and you can twist towards one side as we do it along. Whenever I prompt you, or we can do Mrityasana C. And so I invite you to take a block today. Let go of that ego and be okay with props. Or you can use a blanket folded or a pillow. That's perfect as well. So take it and put it underneath your seat, extending both your legs in front. Okay. Then we're going to go ahead and bend our left leg, bringing it in, knee towards the sky, soles of the feet on the ground. And just make sure you're taking a wrist distance away from your inner thigh. And wherever it is, even if it's a little bit more out, it's okay. Just bring it in as much as feels comfortable for you. Your belly and your thighs touching. And just hold here for just a moment. Feeling that connection. Now, always engaging through the opposite leg. So this right leg, if you're mirroring me, engaging, right? The reason why I say engage, flex or point. I always say flex or point, either or, but I'm going to be flexing today. That allows the muscles to protect the joints, to minimize injury. And also, as you're in these poses, start to think about something called the bandhas, is these energy locks. Engaging through your abdominal core, engage into your pelvic floor to help you be more light and get deeper into the pose. So you bring your belly in and up and pelvic floor in and up. And not too tense, just enough to feel engagement. Bring the bent Mrityasana leg, bent leg. That arm on that side will go behind you. Opposite arm across the outside of the Mrityasana leg. And you can kind of slowly twist a little bit your chest, not your neck, and get yourself into the pose, not rushing into it. And then going ahead and bringing this palm straight forward as much as you can and twist. And then you slowly bring your head behind you and twist. So squeezing against that Mrityasana leg and twisting here. And as you inhale, lengthen through your spine. Exhale and twist here. And going back to your breath. One more breath and release. Switch. Just hug for just a moment. And the opposite leg. Taking your time, there's no rush here. This is your practice. I'm just a selfless soul here, just guiding through with prompts. But at any point you need to take a break, just listen to your body, not pushing or forcing. Let the practice be as it is. And let's go ahead again, bringing that Vrichyasana side arm behind you, and just start to slowly twist your chest, getting yourself kind of turning, lengthening through the spine, twisting, looking behind. Twisting as you inhale, lengthen your spine nice and straight, and exhale, twist, and come forward. Close that gap from the armpit to thigh. And slowly release. Go ahead and bending your knees. Knees are touching, soles of feet on the floor, and doing some windshield wipers here. And then sit with legs crossed, hands on top of your inner thigh, on top here, and just doing some gentle cat and cow just to open up our back. Sometimes twists can be a lot because we're wringing out the toxins from our spine, decompressing the vertebrae. So it can be a lot because we sit a lot, maybe we're walking a lot. And at times we're not paying attention to our posture. So today we're really working deep into that alignment. Grab yourself a block. If you don't have a block, you can use a hardcover book, or you can just do without a block. That's always an option. So lay on your back. We're going to work on the heart chakra, the anahata chakra, and that's linked with love and compassion. So think about it, just to kind of give you an idea. The heart. Sometimes some people are crunched over, chin to chest, just kind of shy. They didn't know, maybe nervous and maybe not secure within themselves. And maybe they are. They just don't feel like, we're stressed and we have a lot going on. So our goal is to open this chest open and wide, opening through the front body and letting that heart expand in a sense. Okay? This is just yogic philosophy. A lot of this comes from yogic philosophy. So we're opening the chest. And sometimes we forget to open our chest and lengthen. And so think about that when you're doing this practice. And it can be uncomfortable for some people. And sometimes the love and compassion can stem from not just from loving others and caring for others. Maybe you do. You're you have children or you have family members or you have friends, and you give them lots of love and you show them, not with just physical things, with being a good person and just giving back. But sometimes the love and compassion can be towards ourselves. Hemsa. Sometimes we're not as kind to our body or our mind. And so that's something we can work on balancing. And sometimes maybe you're really overactive in the heart chakra, where you're giving, 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 and not filling yourself back up. I tend to do that. I just tend to give. But I remind myself that I need to give back to myself too, for my own love and happiness. So self-love, so important. We forget about that because of society, you know, the world around us, what we see and perceive in the TV and social media. And yeah, it's great, but it can affect you. And you may not even notice it. It can be unconscious. And just reminding yourself that you are beautiful, okay? Beautiful not just physically, beautiful from within. Let's get started. So I'm going to show you with the block. And if you are doing the block version, you'll be settled into it. And if you don't have a block, we have another modification. So we're going to do bridge pose. So go ahead and lay on your back. And you bring your knees hip distance wide. And your feet are nice and parallel and straight. And I try to walk my heels in so my tip of my toes can touch. Tips of my heels can touch my fingers. But if that unable to, it's okay. But your goal here is to engage through your thighs and your glutes, as well as your core. Okay? And so if you use the block, you're just using it to open up gently. Now, even if you don't feel like you can use the block, just laying here alone can be for a back bend for many people. Okay, so that can be enough for you. Or lift your hips up. Bring the block under the hard part, the sacrum area, not on your spine. It's a little flat portion. And you can sit just like this and bring your hands out to the side. And if that's your modification, you stay here and breathe. If you don't have a block, you can just bring your palms and push through your palms and lift your hips up and squeeze your glutes. And if you want more, going ahead and interlocking, bringing your shoulders under, interlocking your hands and lifting your hips. And start to breathe, keeping your head nice and midline. Opening through the chest. A few more breaths. One more breath. And release. Knees into chest. Now, if you have the block, just keep it there. And if you want to release the block, you can do more of an active. But just doing the block and just sitting there, keeping your chest open is amazing as well. And just reset, bringing your feet back down. We're going to do it 2 more times. And so this time I'm going to use the block. Whichever setting. You can do this setting, or this setting. Lift. And start to breathe again. I invite you to really expand your chest nice and open with the slow and deep breaths. And just starting to let go of what you've heard about anything that doesn't belong within you. And just knowing that you are enough and knowing that you are practicing with intention, being proud of yourself for just being here, even for 5 minutes. You are filling your cup nice and full. One more breath and release. Bring your knees into chest for just a moment. Rock side to side. And if you have an advanced practice that you can do more to really open up that heart chakra, you can do wheel pose. Okay? And it's Urdhva Dhanurasana. Okay? Sucking my shirt in. So with that one, you would take your hands to the sides of your ears, okay? And your goal is to bring your elbows in towards midline. Not letting it flail out, you're bringing it in, really engaging. Feet are nice and straight and parallel. And you're gonna lift into a deep wheel. So if you want to try it, you can, or go back to bridge, your choice. And really squeeze and lift your hips as you go up. So inhale, exhale, lift. Here's some crack, sorry about that. Bring your elbows in, bring your chest forward. 2 more breaths. 1 more breath. And slowly come down with control. Knees into belly. Back to your breath. This pose for me really challenges me. A lot of emotions come up. But at the same time, I'm okay with that. I accept myself. Unwriting any of the negative that was given towards me. Releasing the samskaras, the past that my body has held on to. I'm just going back to myself, as well as you. Going back to the true self. And grabbing opposites. We're going to do happy baby. So lifting your heels up towards the sky, feet up, and bringing your knees out, going towards your arm, and opening your legs. Just really opening here, rocking side to side for just a moment. And then slowly come back into a seated position. So we worked on from the lower chakras, slowly coming up to the heart. Now we're going to work on the throat chakra. And it's our voice. It's our truth, communication. And sometimes we communicate, and maybe too much, and not listen. Or sometimes we don't communicate because of others and you don't feel like your voice will be heard, so you don't even attempt. And so I invite you to open up through here and be okay with having trust in yourself with your voice and being truthful to yourself and to others. And so here's that neck chakra, the throat chakra. And so we can do shoulder stand and this Salamba Sarvangasana. And with this pose, it can be very intense. And so if you feel you don't want to try it and you don't feel safe, that's totally fine. You can do Vripa Karani where you lay with your legs up on the wall and you'll just lay here, no problem. Um, if you want to try shoulder stand and try it wherever you can. The biggest thing is if you have severe high blood pressure, glaucoma, high pressures in your eyes, you're pregnant, menstruating, any neck injury or anything going on with your neck that's abnormal, that wouldn't be safe unless you go to a yoga studio and be with a teacher. I would say, don't do it. Because I don't, I'm here virtually and I'm unable to have a conversation with you. But if you feel like you're good, you want to try it, let's try it. So, lay on your back. It's going to be intense on your throat, but it's okay. Just really focusing on your breath. And first, you're going to extend your legs, hands flat on the ground. Always keeping your head midline, never turning your head in this pose, and supporting your lower back or upper back, really supporting the entire time. So if you want to watch, you can, and then you can attempt it. So go ahead and really bring your legs up and bring your hands underneath onto your lower back, bringing your elbows in and squeezing wherever you can, extending your legs and looking up. Squeezing, engaging through your core, and just breathing here. Maybe walking your hands down on your spine a little bit more. Not on your spine, but the sides of your spine. Squeezing your legs, inner thighs together. Pointing your legs. At any point you need to release the pose, you can. We'll be here for a couple more breaths. And slowly bringing your feet behind you into plow pose. So today I'm very tight, so my feet may not touch, but I'm just going to keep my hands on my lower back. Now next time, if you feel like your shoulders are tight, you can always put a blanket underneath your shoulders onto your upper back to help with this pose. Today I didn't show that, but next time I will. And then you can slowly bring your toes behind you. And if it doesn't drop, it's okay. You could even put a blanket or a pillow to allow it to rest on. And slowly bring your feet back, up, and vertebra by vertebra, release the pose. Going back to your breath. We have to counterbalance this pose with Matsyasana, fish pose. So as you lay here, bringing your palm, so I put my thumb underneath my seat, and I go onto my forearms, bring my forearms in, pointing my toes or crossing my legs, whatever feels comfortable for you. Sometimes some people have their feet like this. Dropping my head down, maybe using a block and sliding my forearms forward. Now, you really want to open, lift your chest forward. 90% of your weight is on your forearms, and maybe 10% is on your head. And now your chest is really open, and your throat chakra is nice and open. So take the longest and deepest Ujjayi breath you've taken today. Breath with sound. One more breath. And release. And just laying for a moment in Shavasana. Your legs are extended, arms out to the side. And just take a moment taking note of how your body feels in this moment. And what do you notice that's different? Going ahead and bending your knees and turning one side and coming back into a seated position. We're going to work on the third eye, Ajna chakra, and the crown chakra. Okay? Now, with these two chakras, right? The third eye is more clairvoyance, intuition, and just trusting yourself. Really having that vision, maybe the vision of your path. And sometimes we may say that we're older and we've been through so much and we may not have a vision. Vision can be anything. And so I invite you to think about that. Something that may have a vision. And as we also work on the crown, it also works on wisdom. Also, this chakra, as well as when you're is seating into a seated meditation, it allows you to really calm the mind and go above the chakras. And so let's start with either dolphin pose, if this is all new for you, or you can do a headstand. Now, same thing goes, contraindications, neck injury, pregnant, menstruation. If you don't have a wall, I would say get a wall, and high pressures in your eyes, anything um, that's concerning, definitely do it with a teacher in person. But if you have a headstand practice, do it. If you don't, you can do dolphin, and then I'll work into the headstand. So, go back into tabletop position. Sit back onto your heel. And either you can take your hands and cross over your triceps and bring your elbows down to the ground. Now we want to make a triangle, a little basket. And now the biggest thing with this, you really got to push the forearms onto the ground and protract, really push the shoulders, really engage, as well as engaging through the core. And the big thing with headstand and even with dolphin is alignment. So when you do headstand, if you do your practice, be mindful of really engaging and keeping everything stacked. And if you're doing dolphin, just working on really pushing through the floor. Tuck your toes behind you and lift your hips. If your knees are bent, that's okay. And then walk your feet in. Feet are hip distance wide and push and hold it here. Just breathe and engage and push. You can always come down, sit back into child's pose, and then come back into that. And not bringing the elbows out, bringing them in. in that triangle position. Lift, walk, 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 and just stay here. If you want more, you can go forward and back, or just stay. And you can stay and do that for a little bit. And if you want to try a headstand pose, I'm going to take my microphone off, but I always try to use a wall because for me, I'm not as confident in my headstand practice. Not saying that I can do it without a wall, but I always have this safety just in case I lose my balance. Let's see how I should do this. Let's see. Okay, so same thing, bound headstand, grabbing opposite, and pretending that this is the wall. So how can I show it? Let's see. You can see it somehow here. And if you want to, you can use blocks to elevate your hips. But if it is any question that you feel that you don't feel confident, don't do it. So, grabbing opposite arms, bringing your elbows down, going ahead and making a basket with your hands. And the pinky is under and here. Now there's a part, so if you do an L, from your third eye, in between your eyes, to your crown, you'll feel a spot. That's where you'll be putting your weight on, okay? Kind of on a flat surface of your head, okay? Keep your elbows in and engage, and you're gonna engage through your protracting, pushing the floor away from you. And then drop your head into the basket, and just start to feel where that flat part of your head is. Tuck your toes behind you. Lift and lengthen. And then start to walk, walk, walk. And you want to walk until you feel light. Keep bringing, keep walking, keep walking. You might feel uncomfortable. And you'll notice out of nowhere, whoa, my feet are coming up. And either you can bring one leg up and slow, see, I use the wall to come up. Or another option, just to work on the first part of your headstand, is to walk, walk, walk. Keep on walking till your hips are over and stacked over your shoulders. Then you can bring your knees in. And you can stay here. Really engaging. And then you can slowly stay here maybe. Or maybe extending one leg. You can use a wall. Extending the other leg and squeezing your thighs together. Protract, pushing your forearms away from the floor. And going back to it, squeezing your glutes. And you may notice your body just swaying. And looking at a location that's not moving. And this pose is really for trust as well as fear. Breaking through those walls of fears of the voice of you can't. And just work your way through it. Starting with dolphin, using the wall, and just even just walking the dolphin in as much as you can so your body can get used to it. You're just trusting. You can do it. It took me a long time to be able to trust myself and break through the fear. And then when
did, I started to have more belief and trust in myself. Couple more breaths. And slowly bringing your knees into your chest, and with control at any time, you can come down. And you must stay in child's pose to acclimate back onto the ground. Taking slow and deep breaths here. And slowly starting to come up. Laying on your back. And I invite you to release your neck by taking a block or a hardcover book. And there's an edge. Suboccipital release, so you have your occipital bone. There's a little gap there. Now, if you have any neck injury or anything going on with your neck, don't do it. But I invite you, if you don't, everything's healthy and normal, going ahead and bringing that block into that area on that little part, and then going side to side, just to release it. So if you can see, take my block, kind of slant it onto one of the edges, and just go side to side, just massaging underneath, releasing any tension. It's also a really nice massage. If you have headaches, I usually get at times migraines, and a lot of times it's related to stress or my shoulders are tight. And so just as a reminder to take care of yourself. I do this, and then I rest, hydrate, and just take it easy. Maybe a moment for stillness and meditation those times. Let's go ahead and lay in Shavasana. Bring your feet out to the side, palms up, and start to breathe here. Just taking note of starting from your feet, the sensations, the roots coming all the way from the feet, going up into the chakras, all the way up your spine, to your crown and above. And circling back down from the crown, third eye, throat, heart, solar plexus, sacral, and root back into the earth. Receiving as well as giving. Shavasana is one of the most important poses in yoga. It's one of the most difficult to just sit with yourself. And it also allows the practice you did today to really get deep within your body. And bring your knees into chest, rocking side to side, and turning over to one side, and coming up into a seated position.
putting your palms into palm center and taking your time if you're not here yet, and going back to your breath. Inhale through your nose, exhale through your mouth. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. One more time. Inhale for one Om. Om. Thank you for practicing me today. Namaste. Have a wonderful day. And note that the self-love and practice today was for you. Thank you for joining me.